So hello everyone from here at Unlock. We want to thank you again for joining us for an interview with the chairman and CEO of 3IQ, Mr. Fred Pai. Um, just to have a recap of what's happened in 2022 and 2021 and what we expect for 2022. Fred, thank you for joining us at Unlock today.
Thank you for having me, Lara. It's great to be here.
It's always great to end the year with, someone who's as knowledgeable as you are in the field of crypto assets and investments and financial markets and capital markets. So I'm just going to get right into it. Before we kind of start, I just, for all who are watching who don't know 3IQ, can you just give us a quick kind of intro?
Sure. 3IQ was born about 6 years ago, and at the beginning of the crypto world, and we were looking to working with the regulators for over 5 years to bring a regulated crypto product, specifically Bitcoin product, to the market. And after 5 long, hard years of working, in October of 2020, we were given the go-ahead or 2019, we were given the go-ahead to launch the very first Bitcoin fund in the world. And that was very exciting. So now we've expanded into 6 different products. We have so much more going on, and the growth of 3IQ has been extraordinary.
Wow, that's amazing, Fred. I mean, it's a feat in and of itself to get regulators on board to do this. And in 2021, so you launched the first worldwide Bitcoin fund, right?
Exactly. Well, first of all, in 2020, we had launched in Canada.
Okay.
And we started off in Canada right in March, right at the beginning of COVID, and it looked like a disaster. Nobody was interested in anything. Everybody was worried about staying healthy, which they should. But by the end of the year, we had done very well in 2020. But 2021 saw a real explosion in our assets under management. We high water marked in November this year, somewhere over 4.5 billion Canadian dollars, which is extraordinary for a company to grow from virtually zero to 4.5 billion in that sort of period of time. But what it did show is that our thesis of allowing investors to invest in a regulated platform gave a lot of investors the sense of security that they need to when they're investing in digital assets. But the big news, obviously, was when we did go global. We worked with the DFSA and got our Canadian fund approved to list on the Nordic NASDAQ, and we did that with great fanfare and great support at the outset.
Yes, that was an amazing thing for it to happen in the region, and then so that was one of the biggest achievements for 3IQ. I mean, in the region, right? And you actually added to the fund, I understood, no?
Yes, well, we've also created an Ether fund, and you can expect to see those in the region in the next year or two. But we also created 2 other ETFs, which are different structures, which we'd like to also possibly bring to the region.
That would be great. My next question, with all, Bitcoin has been there for some time and so forth, but this year there was this big hype of, NFTs and the DeFi and so forth. What's your expectations? What do you think are the biggest trends that we'll see in 2022?
Lara, there are so many things that are happening that are so exciting. It's tough for even us that are at the forefront. So first of all, investors should be looking at Bitcoin's their first. Once they dip their toe into Bitcoin, then they should be dipping their toe into Ethereum, which is Ether, which is really was known for the platform of DeFi. And what we mean by that, it would be like stable coins or currencies or, just digitizing certain smart contracts. But NFTs, which is a whole new way to transfer ownership, is extraordinary, and it can be used on many different exciting platforms, like for songs or for artwork or different things along those lines. But then there's the metaverse, and at the end of the year, people started talking about the metaverse, and I can guarantee most of your listeners wouldn't necessarily know what the metaverse is. But as internet applications displace everything, you can expect that the metaverse is going to displace HTTP and HTTPS, meaning the average website isn't going to happen anymore. People are going to go onto the metaverse. They're going to go into somebody's office building virtually and have a meeting and just chat. I mean, websites got so big now. If you ever try to find your fund price at one of these major conglomerates, it's almost impossible to find out the price of your investment funds. So it's going to be much easier and much more interactive with this interaction between artificial intelligence and the metaverse.
I think it's unfathomable to many that know in the past that this could happen, but it's happening, and we just have to get our heads around it, right?
It is, and again, it's the internet and everything's just gotten bogged down. It's complicated, and trying to find the right thing has always been tough. And I think the metaverse is going to clean a lot of that up. So there's a real estate grab. There's a real estate grab now. Like there's many different metaverse properties where people are trying to buy properties in, the virtual New York or virtual Chicago or virtual London or virtual Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And there's going to be different metaverses for different use cases.
Very interesting. Fred, everybody keeps asking, each other, and okay, what's going to happen? I mean, crypto assets did well in 2021, I think. I don't know. You can tell me better about this. But what can we look forward to for 2022, especially when we look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, these well-known crypto assets?
I think the general adoption of Bitcoin and Ethereum will continue, but there'll be greater adoption as more use cases and simplicity comes on the back of some of these newer blockchains. Like the blockchains like Algorand, Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, Terra, Tezos, Stellar. These are all blockchains, and the best way to explain it is Bitcoin's a 12-year-old technology, and that's forever in technology world. So what we're going to see is we're going to see extraordinary returns coming from some of the more nimble, cheaper, faster blockchains, and these blockchains are going to establish their use cases. And so you can now, for the first time, broaden outside of Bitcoin and Ether into actual real use cases. And I think that that's a big change, because everybody remembers 4 years ago, there was 1,000 cryptocurrencies and nobody knew which one should they buy. Well, there were really only one to buy at the time. Well, now there's probably about 10 really important platforms you can look at. So expect FreeIQ to seriously consider launching numerous products in that vein.
That's really good. And it also kind of widens the investment base, because these are products that are more affordable to the market, right? I mean, to individuals or even institutional investors.
Yes, and the whole idea is to make sure that these investments are accessible and again regulated. Custody and audit and all of these things are critically important. And we're working with a number of other regulatory agencies in the region, and we're going solidly through. This is how we do it to make sure that our investors are protected the best way possible. And we partner with Gemini Worldwide for our custody solutions, and we're audited by Grant Thornton Worldwide. So we've got the best of the best on our side.
It's a safe bet investing with you. So, more, you were just saying that, more of the traditional kind of fund managers, investment companies have gone into crypto and digital assets this year and even last year. So what kind of new funds do you think are going to, I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about them, but what will we see in this space moving forward, and how will this affect the space?
Well, I think that what's going to happen is there really is the number one problem. There's still an issue that the major banks around the world are not supporting their investment advisors to invest in these digital assets, and they're just yeah, they're just missing the entire boat. It's kind of like saying, well, email was invented in 1982. Well, we didn't want our investment advisors to use email till 1995. Well, that was 13 years. So now everybody at an investment firm uses email. So the way we look at it is the same thing. Bitcoin's over 12 years old, 13 years old this year. And now the investment banks are going to allow their investors to start investing in Bitcoin. And that's where the large share of the world's wealth is. And when people realize that it's a technology that's here to stay, it's not going away, and it's only going to get bigger and get more powerful and get stronger. And, it will be an outlet for any other kind of financial crisis. So look for the world to start to look at the digital asset space as really a diversified play on their investment portfolio. And we've always said your asset allocation should be hashtag get off zero. Like most of the investing world has zero. Well, it's time to start investing in it. We know that great funds like ARK Invest and some of the others all own ETFs and other digital asset products. So we've seen great movement from some of the world's largest technology funds buying our funds and buying our ETFs. And that's really what we're going to look for, is they'll still be able to find a way to invest in the area, in the space.
That's good. Very good news. My last question, because I know we want to wrap up within the time frame that keeps people's attention. You're not the only one that are thinking about, crypto funds in the Middle East. We heard the CEO of Skybridge the other day announce that on CNBC that they're going to be launching a 200 million crypto fund. What's your take on this, and are they following in your footsteps, so to speak?
Yeah, they Anthony and the group over at Skybridge are a great group of people. They understand the space very well. There are a handful of really top end money managers that are really at the leading edge of the curve. Again, a $200 million private fund in the region is a start, right? We expect that our fund exposure in the region in the next year will be significantly greater than that. So,
okay.
We're really looking. We welcome all players to the space, because the more people that talk about it, they're going to look for somebody who has the experience to do that. And I think FreeIQ stands out as one of the preeminent, top three in the world, certainly, of our skill set and our performance. So, we're not concerned about competition. We're really excited about the people that are talking about it. And, it's always great to see Anthony Scaramucci talking about. We saw him in Saudi Arabia at the International Financial Forum, and it was great to see the debate going on, and the digital asset space is growing, and that's for sure.
That's excellent. Fred, would you like to add anything before we wrap up?
No, I just think that in the MENA region, the entire region, keep an eye out for 3IQ, because we'll be making another bunch of announcements, and we're very excited to expand quickly in the region, within Dubai and outside of Dubai as well. So I look forward to coming back to the region as soon as I can, and we can get together at that time as well, Lara.
I would love to. And always remember to let us know first, so that we can cover all the big news that you guys have. And we look forward to it.
Okay. Thank you, Lara. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for viewing. And until next time.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.